You know, I played this game a while back and I'm still in disbelief that I ignored it for so long. It was just sat in my library collecting dust, didn't pay for it. I believe it was part of the PlayStation Plus collection when the PS5 first dropped back in 2020. But this is Detroit Become Human, a choice-driven interactive drama game with really deep storytelling, similar to that of the Telltale's Walking Dead series, full of linear exploration, dialogue choices, and quick-time events which deviate from the traditional combat. Like with the other Telltale games, your decisions can dramatically alter the story, but there was something about Detroit Become Human that made your choices hold so much more weight. As I played through this game, there were so many times where I was like, I can't F this up. This game covers the stories of three androids in Detroit. Kara, who started off as a housekeeping droid, Markus, a caretaker for an elderly artist, and Connor, a prototype supporting the police by hunting down deviants, which I'll touch on in a bit. They are placed in a world where androids take on more responsibilities. They're integrated in society as workers, assistants, servants, carers. They're everywhere and nothing more. They're essentially treated as property. They don't have an identity. They're not meant to feel any emotions. They are there to do a job and that's it. Any sort of behavior outside their normal means is considered deviancy, the art of developing emotions and acting on free will. Unfortunately, this is heavily frowned upon, and androids like Connor would have to hunt them down and arrest these droids so that they can be destroyed.
Are taking our place. Machines, ladies and gentlemen.
And even though some humans in this game feel threatened by androids, they still talk down to them, issue levels of authority to ensure they follow suit, as annoying as it may be.
Hello, Detective Reed.
Never seen an android like you before. Muller.
RK-800. I'm a prototype.
A prototype? Android detective. So machine's gonna replace us all. Is that it? Hey, bring me a coffee, dipshit. Get a move on! Do yourself a favor. Stay out of my way.
This game is designed to test you on that, with each mission holding a multitude of outcomes. You need to decide how best to act in a situation. Do you want to behave as you're programmed to do or act on free will? Are you machine or human? Do you have emotions or are you emotionless? That's the art of this game. Are you willing to put your own safety at risk in order to do what's morally right, or protect yourself by not acting at all, and vice versa? Getting into the characters more, Connor, as mentioned before, is a prototype android created to work with the police, hunting down deviants and trying to unravel why some of them are becoming self-aware. You know, how are they able to act outside of their normal means? Being the most advanced android in the game, his intelligence and investigation skills are S tier, being able to reconstruct crime scenes, analyze evidence, rapidly process data like blood trails, fingerprints. He has a whole database for facial recognition, enhanced observation. He also has a solid foundation for hand-to-hand combat and firearm use. He would be working alongside Hank Anderson for the most part, essentially your partner that accompanies you on most investigations, or I guess you could say you are the one accompanying him. Hank absolutely despises androids and appears to be more resentful towards Connor, which leads to a lot of hostility and clashing of heads throughout the game. As the game progresses, you can either end up building a friendship with him, gaining his respect and trust, or you may end up being enemies. And this of course is highly dependent on the decisions you make, whether you prioritize the mission over human life essentially. Hank pays close attention to you, so every choice you make will not only impact your relationship with him, but also your own fate towards the end of the game.
We've always had isolated incidents. Old ladies losing their android maids and that kind of crap. But now, we're getting reports of assaults and even homicide, like that guy last night. This isn't just CyberLife's problem anymore. It's now a criminal investigation, and we've got to deal with it before the shit hits the fan. I want you to investigate these cases and see if there's any link.
Why me? Why do I gotta be the one to deal with this shit? I am the least qualified cop in the country to handle this case. I know jack shit about androids. androids, Jeffrey. I can barely change the settings on my own phone.
Everybody's overloaded. I think you're perfectly qualified for this type of investigation.
Bullshit! The truth is, nobody wants to investigate these fucking androids, and you left me holding the bag.
CyberLife sent over this android to help with the investigation. It's a state-of-the-art prototype. It'll act as your partner.
No fucking way! I don't need a partner, and certainly not this plastic prick.
I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
Hank, you are seriously starting to piss me off. You are a police lieutenant. You are supposed to do what I say and shut your goddamn mouth.
You know what my goddamn mouth has to say to you?
Okay,
Huh?
okay. I'll pretend like I didn't hear that. So I don't have to add any more pages to your disciplinary folder, because it already looks like a fucking novel. This conversation is over.
Jeffrey, Jesus Christ, why are you doing this to me? You know how much I hate these fucking things. Why are you doing this to me?
Listen, I've had just about enough of your bitching. Either you do your job or you hand in your badge. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got work to do.
I'm very pleased to have joined the team.
Close the door on your way out.
Have a nice day, Captain.
Given Connor's abilities, he is still an android and not exempt from the consequences of his failures. He reports to Amanda, an AI who represents the company who created him. After each mission, you are to report back to her with your findings, and each added failure weighs in on the trust relationship you both have. So effectively speaking, if you end up doing what you may consider is the right thing but Amanda doesn't approve, that will be frowned upon, and whether you're considered an ally becomes an important question for the organization that created you.
More and more androids show signs of deviancy. There are millions in circulation. If they become unstable, the consequences will be disastrous. You're the most advanced prototype CyberLife has ever created. If anyone can figure out what's happening, it's you.
You can count on me, Amanda.
So for Connor, there's no room for error, but if you decide to break those boundaries, you will essentially step into a whole new world, a whole new perspective of human and android interaction. He was definitely my favorite character to play. I really liked his detective style missions. They were action packed, the chases, the combat, the funny interactions he had with Hank, they were great. I'm glazing right now, but even his walk had aura.
Whoa, hey! Oh, Connor, you're so disgusting. I think I'm gonna puke again.
Kara's story is actually quite sad, to be honest, the most emotional of the three if you ask me. She began as a housekeeping android, who was unfortunately owned by a violent and abusive man called Todd Williams. While performing her duties around the home, Kara quickly notices how badly he mistreats his daughter Alice. One would assume this stems from a multitude of reasons: the fact that his wife left him, his unemployment because droids have largely taken over human jobs, his drug addiction, all of which is compacted into a vial of rage that Alice is unfortunately on the receiving end from.
I know what you're thinking. You think your dad's a lowlife? Huh? Fucking loser? Can't get a job, take care of his family? Don't you think I tried to make things work? But whatever I do, when someone comes along, they just fuck it all up! I know what you think of me. You hate me. You hate me, don't you? Say it! You hate me! God, what am I doing? I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know I love you, don't you? You know I love you.
This escalates into probably one of the most stressful parts of the game for me, saving Alice. Now when Todd takes his behavior too far, you have a choice to sit idly by or break that wall that restricts androids from acting on their own and do what's morally right, saving Alice. Which leads to one of the longest QuickTime events I've ever tried. This was a sit up and lock in moment because as androids, taking one blow to the body or face, especially with an object, could cost you. And depending on how this goes, you're essentially now a deviant on the run with Alice to escape her abusive father and find a safe safe haven for yourself, across the Canadian border to be exact, where it's rumoured that androids are free from persecution. The unfortunate reality is that given that Kara was acting on emotions and it was generally considered the right thing to do, the position they are now in puts you in scenarios where you may have to end up doing the immoral thing in order to protect Alice. You're on the news now, people know what's happened. How far are you willing to go to make sure she's safe, make sure she's got food, make sure she's wearing warm clothes? That comes at a cost of doing some dodgy things that Alice will pay attention to, and some of your actions can impact that relationship as well. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, and being a deviant, she does have a target on her back thanks to false reports from Todd, so as you would expect, Connor is hot on their heels throughout the story.
What are you doing? They're not our clothes.
We need them, Alice. You need something warm, and I need to get rid of this uniform.
But that's stealing. We can't do that.
I'm sorry, Alice, but we have to do this.
I just wanted us to be a family. I just wanted him to love me. Why couldn't we just be happy?
I don't know.
You'll never leave me, right? Promise you'll never go.
I promise.
Will we be together forever?
Forever.
With Connor's story being the most fun for me in terms of action sequences, Kara's was definitely the most intense. Herself and Alice could not catch a break for like 80% of this game, being on the run. They always had to keep moving, but it gave an interesting perspective of how doing the right thing has its own negative implications and can still be considered the wrong thing to do, at least from an objective standpoint. And Todd won't be the only creep you have to escape from, you know. There is a very crucial part of their story about halfway through, and I was lucky enough to not find out what would have happened if I failed it. If you know, you know. But hey, I feel for these girls, man. They went through hell.
I warned you. Dreams always end in tears. You should have listened to me.
Now there is an android who appears at the start menu and you can have some very interesting interactions with her, some of which can be taken personally and turn the start menu into an awkward mess. However, I can't remember if the game told us this or the droid said this, but it was before you started the game. You were told to let bygones be bygones essentially. Every choice you end up making in this game, stand by it and let the story play out. Don't reload your saves just because you didn't like an outcome. And I think that was the hardest thing about Kara's story. There were so many instances where I wish I could have done something differently to keep everyone happy, but you just can't. It's a cruel situation they're in, and with over 80 different endings for the 3 characters, you're always left wondering, what if I said this instead? What if I went this direction? What if I went into this building, this store, asked for help or didn't ask for help? There's so much replayability with this game. And before I go off on a tangent, we have our last playable character, Markus, who started out as the caretaker for Carl Manfred, an elderly artist who actually treats him with a lot of respect. This character surprised me the most because it's the first time where a human is seen interacting with a droid on mutual grounds, and in fact he's one of the ones that pushes Markus to be free, make his own choices and appreciate art, so things were looking up for both of them.
Something has changed in the way you play. Sometimes I think you have more humanity than most humans. One day I won't be here to take care of you anymore. You'll have to protect yourself and make your choices. Decide who you are and want to become. This world doesn't like those who are different, Marcus. Don't let anyone tell you who you should be. Let's go to the studio.
Up until Kara's son turns up and gets into a heated argument with his father, things escalate to the point where Leo attacks Marcus first, and understanding that any pushback from him will only work in Leo's favor, Kara reinforces the idea that he shouldn't defend himself as he knows what will happen if he does. And this is again another instance where you need to decide whether the norm shall be followed or if the glass shall be shattered. Should you act on your own will and see where that takes you?
Be reasonable. This isn't gonna get you anywhere.
All you ever do is tell me to go away. What's wrong, Dad? Not good enough for you? Not perfect like this fucking thing?
That's enough! Get out! Right now!
What makes it so special anyway, huh? What's it got that I don't?
Leave him alone!
Come on, let's see what you got!
Marcus, don't defend yourself, you hear me? Don't do anything.
Go ahead, hit me. What you waiting for? Think you're a man? Act like one.
Stop it!
What's the matter? Too much of a pussy?
Stop it, Leo! Stop it!
You're scared to fight back, you fucking bitch! Fucking bitch! Bitch! Bitch!
Bitch! And that's exactly what I did, and it instantly made me realize that Marcus out of the three had the biggest and most important political storylines. If you choose to go down this route, Marcus is unfortunately shot by police and destroyed, then forced to rebuild himself in hopes of finding other droids alike who will stand by him for android freedom. You could find yourself engaging in peaceful protests, marches, demonstrations to show the world you are not the enemy. This is based solely on one playthrough for me, by the way. I'm just going off of what I've explored during my run. I guess you could call it the good guy run, but in Marcus's situation, I guess going the aggressive route could always lead to a more violent revolution, pitting androids up against humans. And based on that, you can kind of see how all three characters' stories will come together and cross paths. Connor is tasked with hunting down deviants, Kara is on the run with Alice as a deviant, and Marcus is trying to create change by outlasting the negative stigma received on droids with either violence or persevering with peaceful protest.
I came to Jericho because here androids are free. Free to live in the dark, hoping that no one finds us. Free to die in silence, waiting for a change that's never gonna come. But I don't want that freedom. And I'm not gonna beg for the right to smile, or love, or stand tall. I don't know about you, but there's something inside me that knows that I am more than what they say. I am alive, and they're not gonna take that from me anymore. Our days of slavery are over. What humans don't want to hear, we will tell them. What they don't want to give, we take. We are people. We are alive. We are free.
And that's why I really liked, not all characters will cross paths with each other directly on a face-to-face basis, but the actions or decisions you decide to make can impact another character's story, for example. With Marcus's political influence, there's a chance Kara's safety could be impacted by how members of the public view them if they notice Kara is an android. Or the fact that Connor is tasked with hunting deviants, his interactions with Hank and how he perceives him could persuade you to make decisions that save a droid or human, for example.
I was designed to stop deviants, and that's what I intend to do.
Well, that's what you're programmed to say. But you... what do you really want?
What I want is not important.
Chloe? I'm sure you're familiar with the Turing test. Mere formality. Simple question of algorithms and computing capacity. What interests me is whether machines are capable of empathy. I call it the Kamsky test. It's very simple, you'll see. Magnificent, isn't it? One of the first intelligent models developed by CyberLife. young and beautiful forever. A flower that will never wither. What is it really? A piece of plastic imitating a human? Or a living being with a soul? It's up to you to answer that fascinating question, Connor. Destroy this machine, and I'll tell you all I know. Or spare it, if you feel it's alive. But you'll leave here without having learned anything from me.
Okay, I think we're done here. Come on, Connor, let's go. Sorry to get you out
What's
of here.
more important to you, Connor? Your investigation or the life of this android? Decide who you are. An obedient machine. Or a living being. Endowed with free will.
That's enough. Connor, we're leaving.
Pull the trigger.
Connor! Don't!
As I said before, there's apparently 80 to 90 different endings for all 3 characters, and the changes you make, even the smallest ones that you don't think will have an impact, can easily turn the tide of another Android story. And for that, I give props to the developers. The storytelling in this game can boil down to the most intricate of details, minor instances, major impact. Something that can easily be overlooked can cause issues in the future, and that's the beauty of it. Can you continue playing with the past decisions you've made, or carry on and see how it ends for all characters? This game is 8 years old, releasing back in 2018, and in my defense, I didn't get my PS4 until 2020 and my PS5 2 years after that. But I'm so glad to have tried this game when I did. I'm not sure what pushed me to play. Essentially, it might have been one of those days where I was just mindlessly scrolling through my library. I do have a backlog of games I need to try, and this was one of them. What an experience. Definitely a top 3 single player game for me. What's great is you can replay chapters. I think I said this already, but you can even start from any of the smaller choices you made in that mission if I'm not mistaken. Generally though, choosing a different route is mainly weighted on your previous most major decision, so if you want to find a new ending, you'll have to see that whole chapter through, or multiple chapters without skipping or going back to the menu, as the game will still log the original timeline. So for example, if you instead decide to be aggressive with someone in chapter 5 rather than civil, you will need to see that whole chapter through and beyond to see the significance of that change. The little locked icons on certain tabs through the timeline chain is a good gauge of where you can restart a chapter to see if you can unlock that new outcome. So yeah, for a game like this, chapter replay is a must, and I'm glad they set that up. I'll probably replay the whole game for the full experience anyway, like an evil run of sorts. On my first run, I tried to do the right thing and save everyone I could, but you'd be surprised, no matter how hard you try to be good and keep all parties happy, someone is always going to be impacted negatively by your decisions. And I think that's the art of Detroit Become Human, living with the consequences of the choices you make. This would encourage me to play more single player games of this style, mainly being the Telltale series. The only thing is I've watched all these playthroughs before when I was a lot younger and didn't have the hardware to play it myself, but funnily enough, Detroit Become Human was never one of them, given how popular and well received it was. Then again, by 2018 I was old enough to get my own stuff. It's just a shame I never came across it sooner. What a game, man. Now there's a chance some of you may never have tried this, and if you haven't, you know what I'm gonna say. If you're looking for a good 10 hours of solid storytelling, 3 unique characters, all of which their decisions can be made by you, please try it. This is a valid glaze. This game was absolutely amazing. Now there's no news on the second game. A Detroit Become Human 2 has a nice ring to it if they consider it though. But anyways, that's it for me. And for those of you who have played it, I really want to know your thoughts on the game. What character did you enjoy the most? What decisions did you like? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been Dre. Take care and see you next time.
Wake up, Lieutenant. It's me, Connor. I'm going to sober you up for your own safety. I have to warn you.
Leave me
This may be
alone,
unpleasant.
fucking android. Get the fuck out of my house.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant, but I need you. Thank you in advance for your cooperation.
Get the fuck out of here! Hey! Sumo! Attack! Good job. Attack! Fuck, I think I'm gonna be sick. Oh, leave me alone, you asshole. I'm not going anywhere. What the hell are you doing? I don't want a bath. Thank you.
Sorry, Lieutenant. It's for your own good.
Ah!